What's up, my friends? Leo Cannell here with today's Seven Figures Club podcast. Today's topic is going to be shocking. It's the fact that death comes to us all. So what are we going to do about it? And why we need to live like we were dying. Famous song about that. And what you must do today to eliminate regrets so that when that day comes, as we know it inevitably will come for all of us, it will come calling the Grim Reaper. I mean, we're a couple days away here from Halloween. It will happen. So what are we going to do so that when Dia de los Muertos comes, we are ready and we've done everything we can. We can leave it on the field. So let's deep dive now, my friends.
There are over 32 million businesses in the U.S. and over 90% of them will never break seven figures in annual sales. So how do we as entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs break into that seven figures club? This podcast will relentlessly share the secrets, strategies, and tactics I've used to create 3 multi-seven figures businesses and bring in even more successful entrepreneurs than me to share their inspirational stories and tactics to success. You can create your dream business and life right now. So buckle up and let's go.
Well, we are in, the very end of the year here. The holiday season is upon us. Halloween's coming up. When you hear this podcast, it may have already passed. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and Christmas and the new year will be coming as well. Now, what happens for most people is the fourth quarter becomes a lot of time off. It becomes a lot of distraction. It becomes something that people really look forward to because it's great to be around family and have that extra time. On the other hand, a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs and small business owners, unless they're retail or Amazon or e-commerce based, where they're going to be busy as heck, trying to deliver, especially with all these supply chain issues, like a lot of people do not deliver in the fourth quarter because of all the time off and the fact that they are distracted. I have told my team we will have a record quarter in terms of revenue, in terms of clients funded and helped, and funding partners joining our programs. That is our goal. That is our destiny. We're going in even harder. We've got events across the country we're traveling to and doing funding for. We're taking on more and more partners. We're hiring, we're training, we're growing, we're expanding our office space. That's what we're doing, and that's what, if you want to win, you must grow every single quarter. You cannot flatline. If you flatline or if you drop, that's a trend, that's momentum that you cannot have if you're going to keep on winning in the game of life and the game of business. So at our home, we have this awesome family friend. Her name is Shannon. She is a sweetheart. She goes to our local church, which is just actually over the fence of our backyard. So it's very close, and it's been very nice, very convenient. My kids' elementary school is a block away. Our high school is a block away. Our junior high, middle school is very close as well. And our favorite restaurants and grocery store are all very close. It's a great location. We love where we live. And when we first moved into our neighborhood 4 years ago, there was this wonderful lady. Her name was Shannon. She's in her 50s. And after church, she would come over and we would do some lessons on values, principles, living life and treating others as Jesus would, and helping and serving others. And she brought a lot of value and a lot of great teachings and principles to our family. Just a wonderful person who's always out there serving. She worked a lot in the nonprofit sector and industry for a number of years in DC, and so she was, connected with some great people and made a big difference in her life, helping others with charitable endeavors, as she literally was an executive for a very, big, well-known charity. And then she moved from DC to Utah, and we got to know her, and she became a great family friend and a great example to my kids of, helping and serving others and trying to live a life like Jesus, set the example for us all to live. And so Shannon, been a good family friend of ours for the past 4 years, and we recently got the incredibly terrible news, very sad news, that she has stage 4 blood cancer. And this blood cancer is horrible because basically the blood cancer spreads very quickly into your organs, into your bone marrow, and it kills your heart, it kills your kidneys, it kills your most important organs, and so she can't get a heart transplant. The crazy thing is, my wife's brother's mother-in-law, who needed a heart transplant for this very same disease, actually ended up getting a heart transplant. This was in 2006, boy, quite a while ago. And she lived with us for about a year. She was wonderful. She did our dishes every single day that she lived with us. But she got a heart transplant. She flatlined, and we had to run her to the ER right after the heart transplant because there were some issues with her medication, potassium levels. But she was able to get an extra, 10, 11 years with this heart transplant. But Shannon's blood cancer has progressed so rapidly that a heart transplant is not it's not available. It's not even a possibility. They won't have her get a heart transplant because her blood disease will just kill the new heart. So she can't get a new heart, and she can't get new kidneys for the very same reason. The blood disease will just kill the new organs, that it will reject them. And so she's in this terrible spot, and she's got stage 4 blood cancer. She could do chemo. The odds are very low that it would actually work, and so she's kind of leaning towards doing nothing. And we kind of wish she would do something and try to fight it, but it's very, very far along. And so the doctors are telling her she has less than 6 months to live. She doesn't look like herself. She's very frail, very skinny, feeling very weak, on a lot of medication, and worse than that, in a lot of pain, which is just tremendously very sad. And all of us listening, we have all been there, and we will all be there in one way or another, where people we care about, people that we love, people that we spend a lot of time with, that we have great times with, will get sick. They will pass, and so will each of us. That's the deal here with our life, right? The only certainties in our country, in our world, are death and taxes. There are no other certainties beyond that. And so the question is, if you ever have seen the movie Braveheart, which I highly recommend you do, it's been my favorite movie for a long time. In that movie, the main character, William Wallace, played by Mel Gibson, is fighting for freedom for his Scottish people and country against the redcoats, against the English. And that was the journey, that was the battles that they were having. And in the movie, his wife is killed, and then he actually connects up with the future queen and befriends her, and she hates the actual king. The actual king is a tyrant, is a dictator, is a psychotic man who loves the power, has no mercy, kills on demand without a second thought, breaks his word and his promises all the time. And as he is sick on his deathbed, she whispers into his ear, "See, great King Death, it comes to us all. But before it comes to you, know this: I carry a baby that is not of your loins. Your seed dies with you." So that was the great line that she shared in that movie, because she was actually sleeping with William Wallace, the hero, who was a Scot, and so his son would actually become one of the future kings of England, I believe, if it's accurate. You never know if these movies are accurate. But what a great story, and what a great lesson. The death comes to us all. So now what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about this fact that people we love and care about will go, and it will come to us as well? And so in the meantime, obviously, you want to focus and do everything possible that's within your control. You've got to control your health. One of the saddest things I ever saw was one of the great entrepreneurs here in Utah, a man by the name of Larry Miller, who bought the Utah Jazz, fought for that team, and built up a massive empire of auto dealerships and movie theaters. An amazing entrepreneur, but he did not take care of his health. And he died very young, in his 60s. And it was very, very sad that he did die so young because he didn't take care of himself. So number one, let's control what we can control. Let's take care of our health, right? Let's eat the right food. Let's get into, a lot of our health comes down to our morning rituals. Do you start the morning by working out? Are you taking the right supplements? Are you drinking a gallon of water? If you haven't heard or participated in the 75 Hard Challenge, do it. Do it. I recommend it. It will change your life and get your health in order and get you the right habits you need and the mental toughness it takes to build the right habits to focus on your health. So after we've done that, as we continue to work on it, it's an everyday thing. It's not an event that you do for a few months and then you're done. No, it's a process that you fight and battle every day to take care of your health. But again, even when we take care of our health, there are still things that happen that are outside of our control. There's pandemics, there's sicknesses, there's illnesses, there's disease, there's stress in life. There are all these things that we cannot control. So at the end of the day, there's a great song by Tim McGraw. And, I wasn't a lover of country, but as I dated my wife, she got me into some country, and I think Tim McGraw does country music better than anybody. One of his very famous songs that I'm sure you've heard is called Live Like You Were Dying. And in that song, he talks about loving more. He talks about being a better husband. He talks about being a better father. He talks about, reading the good book. He talks about, Rocky Mountain hikes. He talks about, going on a bull ride on a bull named Fu Manchu. And he talks about all these things that when you are dying, you're like, well, I'm gonna go out with a bang. I'm gonna do all these things. And the message is to live like you're dying. If you were dying, would you be doing what you're doing today? If you were dying, would you treat your family the way you're treating them today? If you were dying, who would you reach out to? Who would you, share love with? Who would you try to make an impact on? And I was reading another article about another great entrepreneur who was going to pass away, and he kind of made a list of all these people who had made an impact on his life, or vice versa. He'd made an impact on theirs, and he met with all of them before he passed away. He had a few months to live, and I thought that was kind of a beautiful message there. But the bottom line message of the song Tim McGraw sings, Live Like You Were Dying, is to live each day like you were dying, like your last breath was going to happen, so that you can get to the end, because we'll all be there. We'll all be there someday where death will be upon us. Death comes for us all. So what must we do today to eliminate regrets when that day comes? And that, my friends, comes down to winning every day. It comes down to filling your calendar with the things that matter most. And if you're an entrepreneur and a small business owner, make no mistake, your business, the impact you're making, the product, the services that you offer your customers, clients, the jobs that you provide your employees, it matters. It matters so much. It's your life's work. It's literally your life's work, and you want to excel at it, and you want to win the game of business. Join the 7 Figures Club, get to the 8 Figures Club and beyond, the 9 Figures Club. But also, you've got to schedule in there your family time. You've got to schedule in your family vacations. Those experiences with your family will matter most. I think about our recent trip to Disney World in Orlando. Boy, I've been to Orlando a few times this year, 3 times actually, right? My goodness, yeah. No, just 2 times. But, I think about that. We're at Disney World having a great time. And then I took my 2 oldest boys to the Orlando Water Sports Complex, which is this awesome cable park where you wakeboard and you have these jumps. And it was just such an amazing day. 8 hours out in the sun wakeboarding in this awesome cable park with my boys. And those are the things that matter most. Those are the things that you're going to remember. So you have to plan those. You have to make those investments. And then you have to make the investments on a daily basis. For me, it's been important to coach each one of I've got 4 boys. It's been important to coach each one of them in football. And I have coached each one of them. I got one left who will be joining the football team in a few years here. And that's something that's important. So I put that in my calendar. Is it really difficult? It's really difficult. And I try to go out with my wife once a week. A really nice dinner, a really nice movie. something awesome that we can do, just us. She loves BYU football, so we got BYU football season tickets. We've been doing that. So these investments that we make are the experiences that make life great. That is something that we must do. So I guess what I'm saying is use your calendar, schedule every minute, and get rid of the waste of time stuff. There is nothing worse than looking back, and I can look back, to a period of my life, which was a long period, where I wasted a lot of time watching sporting events. Like, what is that doing for me other than just wasting time? Now, hey, I enjoy a good, NFL game. That's pretty much all I watch. Don't really watch baseball, very little basketball, not a lot of college football, maybe just our local team here and there, see how they're doing. But I do love the NFL, and I will watch the highlights on Sunday, or once in a while, if it's a really good game, I'll watch part of the game. But I'm telling you, invest your time in things that matter. Avoid the time wasters of just, streaming TV shows and wasting time. And instead of, watching someone who's living their dream life on the big screen, go create your dream life. Live your dream life, live your epic life where you're traveling, where you're doing amazing epic things with your family, with your business, with your customers, with your employees. Go to those award shows, earn the awards, give out awards to your employees. Do the things that matter most, because at the end of the day, death comes for us all. If you do that, you will live a life without regrets, my friend, and your odds of getting to the 7 and 8 figures club will increase tremendously. So that's my message for you today, with a heavy heart, as our friend Shannon, battles for her life here and may not have much time to live. Live like you were dying. Make the most of today, tomorrow. Avoid the time wasters. Take care of your health, and God bless you. And we'll see you next time on the 7 Figures Club podcast.
Are you looking for more 7-figure secrets, content, or even how you can launch your own recession-proof business? Then check out 7figures.com. That's the digit 7, FIGURES.com, where we share more videos, stories, strategies, funding solutions, entrepreneurial education, and even the secret business type that's recession-proof. Thank you for listening, and if you're finding value in our podcast, please give us a 5-star and invite others to join the club.